In the cold and eerie halls of Hampton Court Palace, the ghostly echoes of the Tudor past still lingered. It was the year 1536, and I, King Henry VIII, ruled with an iron fist. The whispers of my courtiers spoke of a tyrannical ruler whose desires knew no bounds. But beyond the gilded facade, a darker secret hid, one that would send shivers down my spine. Late one moonlit night, I sat alone in my chamber, a cold fire flickering in the hearth. My recent execution of my second wife, Anne Boleyn, weighed heavily on my conscience. Tormented by guilt, I sought solace in the dark arts, consulting the mysterious alchemist Dr. Blackwood. As I delved deeper into the forbidden, the palace walls seemed to breathe with a malevolent presence. Unseen eyes followed me, shadows danced in corners, and whispers echoed through the halls. Rumors of a haunting plagued the palace, and even the bravest courtiers spoke of ghostly apparitions haunting the Tower of London, the final destination for those who displeased me. One fateful night, my sleep was disturbed by a haunting dream. In the vision, Anne Boleyn's ghost appeared before me, her eyes filled with sorrow and vengeance. She warned me of a malevolent spirit lurking within the palace walls, a spirit bound by an ancient curse, seeking retribution for the wrongs committed by the Tudor dynasty. Terrified and desperate for answers, I sought out the wisdom of Lady Isabella, a gifted seer rumored to have the sight. She lived in the outskirts of the kingdom, hidden away from the prying eyes of the court. Upon reaching the secluded cottage, Lady Isabella welcomed me with an air of solemnity. "Your Majesty, I have been expecting you," she said, her eyes seeming to pierce through my troubled soul. "I beg you, Lady Isabella, reveal to me the truth behind this haunting. I cannot bear this torment any longer," I implored. The seer gazed into her crystal ball, and as she spoke of the cursed past and Lady Rowena's malevolent spirit, a shiver ran down my spine. Her words painted a vivid picture of vengeance and sorrow, and for a moment, doubt crept into my mind. But as quickly as the doubt arose, I dismissed it as mere superstition. Determined to break the curse and find redemption, I returned to Hampton Court Palace. I ordered my closest advisors to uncover the truth behind the haunting, but the more they delved into the dark history of the Tudor dynasty, the more I clung to the notion that spirits haunted the palace. Hidden passages were discovered, leading to secret chambers adorned with ancient symbols and arcane artifacts. The rituals were perilous, and the burden of confronting the past took its toll on my sanity. Sleep eluded me, and paranoia gripped my mind. The haunting nightmares continued to haunt my sleep, and during the day, I became increasingly erratic and unpredictable. "My king, you must rest. These haunting visions may be but a figment of your imagination," Lord William gently suggested. "No, I know what I've seen. The spirits are real. They are here to punish me," I retorted, my voice filled with desperation. As the days turned into weeks, my mental state deteriorated further, and yet I remained oblivious to the truth of my own unraveling mind. The whispers of Lady Rowena's curse seemed to follow me everywhere, haunting my every thought. The once vibrant palace now became a labyrinth of fear and suspicion. I no longer trusted those around me, and the courtiers' hushed whispers only fueled my paranoia. The palace that once echoed with the laughter of revelry now felt cold and desolate, mirroring the isolation of my own troubled mind. In the end, the line between reality and illusion blurred, and I became a prisoner of my own guilt and paranoia, unable to escape the horrors of my own making. As the days passed, my mind spiraled further into the depths of madness. The haunting visions became more vivid, more terrifying, yet I remained blind to the truth of my own deteriorating sanity. Each night, the ghostly whispers echoed in my ears, taunting me, accusing me of heinous crimes. The shadows danced with malevolence, and I found myself drawn to the hidden passages within the palace, as if they held the key to salvation from the torments of my mind. One night, as the moon hung full and foreboding in the sky, I descended into one of the secret chambers uncovered by my advisors. The air within was heavy with the stench of ancient magic, and strange symbols adorned the walls, illuminated by flickering candlelight. In my desperation to appease the spirits, I stumbled upon an old grimoire, its pages filled with dark incantations. Without hesitation, I began to recite the cryptic verses, hoping to break the curse that plagued me. But as the last word left my lips, a gust of wind howled through the chamber, extinguishing the candles. Panic gripped my heart as unseen hands seemed to close in around me, their icy touch sending shivers down my spine. The room plunged into darkness, and in the void I heard the laughter of malevolent spirits. "Your soul is ours, King Henry," their voices taunted, a chorus of torment that seemed to come from all directions. With trembling hands I struck a flint, relighting the candles, but what I saw in that moment would forever haunt my nightmares. The chamber walls were adorned with macabre paintings of my past transgressions, grim depictions of my ruthless executions and vengeful conquests. My heart pounded like a war drum, and I stumbled backward, falling to the floor. The cold stone pressed against my skin as the room seemed to close in around me. "Get out of my head!" I screamed, my voice cracking with desperation. But the haunting images persisted, vivid and gory. The faces of those I had executed contorted in agony, their eyes accusing me of the blood I had spilled in the name of power and pride. I fled the chamber, my breaths ragged and heart-pounding. Yet the haunting continued, even in the light of day. The faces of the dead appeared in the reflections of mirrors, their haunting gazes following me wherever I turned. In my madness, I accused my closest advisors of conspiring against me, believing they too were haunted by the spirits seeking revenge. Paranoia consumed me, and my courtiers dared not speak of the madness that had befallen their once great king. The once resplendent palace now bore witness to my descent into darkness. Blood-stained floors and walls bore the marks of my violent outbursts as I grappled with the unseen horrors plaguing my mind. No longer content with executing those who challenged me, I began to lash out at innocent servants and courtiers, driven by the belief that I needed to purge the palace of malevolent spirits. My reign, once known for grandeur and majesty, now became a reign of terror and bloodshed. The court became a place of dread, and whispers of my madness spread like wildfire through the kingdom. The people, once loyal subjects, now feared the erratic ruler who had lost touch with reality. As the days turned into nights, I grew more isolated, and the boundaries between reality and illusion blurred further. I found solace in the company of the shadows, believing they were the only ones who understood the true depths of my torment. But within the darkness, a glimmer of self-awareness flickered. Deep within, I knew that something was terribly wrong with my mind. I could no longer trust my own perceptions, for the ghosts of my past deeds now haunted me, both day and night. In the chambers of Hampton Court Palace, a new darkness had taken root, one that couldn't be banished by swords or rituals. It was the darkness of a tormented mind, a mind that would forever be haunted by the ghosts of its own making. Chapter 3. The Unraveling. The haunting visions and torments continued to consume me, and the line between reality and illusion grew ever thinner. The once glorious Hampton Court Palace now bore the scars of my descent into madness. Bloodstains and broken artifacts marred the once beautiful chambers, and the once lively court now echoed with fear and trepidation. I had become a shadow of my former self, a man haunted by the ghosts of his past, and tormented by the demons of his mind. Paranoia gnawed at my sanity, and I trusted no one, not even my closest confidants. The weight of the crown on my head felt suffocating, a constant reminder of my failings and the curse that had befallen me. In my desperation for redemption, I sought solace in the rituals and rites I had once turned to. I believed that by appeasing the spirits, I could find respite from the horrors that plagued my mind. But each ritual only deepened the abyss of my madness, pushing me further away from the light. One night, unable to bear the torment any longer, I ascended to the highest point of the castle, seeking a reprieve from the relentless ghosts that haunted me. The moon hung heavy in the sky, casting an eerie glow over the palace. I stood on the edge, gazing down into the darkness below, contemplating the void that beckoned. The cold wind whipped around me, as if the spirits themselves were trying to pull me closer to them. The voices in my mind taunted me, urging me to end the suffering, to escape the never-ending nightmare. The weight of my transgressions and the burden of my madness became too much to bear. With a heavy heart, I took a step forward, my mind clouded by despair. But in that moment, a faint glimmer of clarity pierced through the darkness. I hesitated, a small part of me still clinging to life, to the hope of redemption. The ghosts of my past would not release their grip on me. They whispered their accusations, telling me that there was no escape from the horrors I had created. I closed my eyes, torn between the desire for peace and the fear of what lay beyond. In the end, the darkness won. With a final cry of anguish, I let go, plunging into the abyss below. As I fell, time seemed to slow, and flashes of my life flashed before my eyes. The power, the pride, the ruthless acts that had brought me to this tragic end. And then the darkness consumed me, and the tale of King Henry VIII came to an abrupt and unpleasant ending.